As I said in the previous video on this topic, I've no interest in using AI to create new music. But when I saw Suno can remix your stuff, I had a lot of fun playing around with that. And when you remix, instead of creating brand new stuff, what you notice is that when it's scraping from what you created, you have extra insight into exactly what it's doing, what it latches onto, what it's excluding, how it's displacing things around, and how it messes with the instrumentation, song structure, and even the overall feel of your original audio. The other thing I noticed is that about 95% of what it produced was just worthless. Maybe because audio music is my thing, I've just got higher standards there, as compared to generating images. The percentage of good stuff was higher when you provide it with more standard music, because that's what it's been trained on. But that's not really my kind of thing, so when I gave it my stuff, which is less traditional, I found it really likes latching onto specific sections and just always doing the same thing with them. Certain songs always produced bad results. And overall, often the mix and/or the instrumentation was pretty poor, at least in version 4.5. Going up to version 5, I found that it mixes more competently, while bringing diverse elements together, but it was overly keen on forcing its own palatable thing. It seems that, just as when I was using Midjourney and then later on Stable Diffusion with the image work, you're always with these LLMs going to have thumb on the scale trade-offs. It reminded me of how the Midjourney versions adjusted. Starting off weird, scrappy, kind of gribbly, then improving to be more competent, but producing more flat and predictable results, before finally giving more options back to the user for direct control, so you can help guide it towards more of what it is that you're after, instead of having the AI take care of everything. In this video's music features some of the best remixes that I came up with. Links to all of my favourites in the video description or below where this has been posted. But this isn't really about Suno, except that it's a hell of a thing to generate and listen to roughly 1,000 songs while retaining your instincts, where the good ones can still speak to you. Their quality can be felt. There's a storyline in Mad Men, where a guy wants a job at the ad agency, but his portfolio is just the same surface level crap over and over again. Yeah, no thanks. Don, however, is riding highs, full of creative juices. All of his ideas are brilliant, he sells them on to the clients, and he's even getting an award for this. But he has one last pitch for the day, and he's drunk in more ways than one. He starts riffing, the improvised ideas are coming thick and fast, and because he's not really paying attention, outslips a version of the superficial garbage from the portfolio earlier. The old man he's selling it to loves it. It's gonna sell the product in magazines, billboards, TV ads. But as much of a known idea as it was, you can't just take it. Got to hire the kid. Just because you're working in a creative field, it doesn't necessarily mean you are creative. And now along comes a tool like no other, producing quality, perhaps even finished work, with a mere prompt. Yeah, there's already been a lot of lost jobs, with many more to come. But for those that actually care, there's an array of interesting possibilities afforded by the introduction of AI. First, you could use it for something menial such as animation tweening, where you're using your drawing skills, certainly, but you're filling in between keyframes towards a creative standard that has already been set for you. And having AI do that automatically could afford you extra time and the opportunity to explore other aspects of the medium, much as in the way that Looney Tunes did it back in the day. They experimented a lot with animation, trying out new things that seemed silly at first, but inspire even to this day. And they did the same thing with the voices and sound effects that accompanied the animation. Another possibility that's definitely going to happen, if it's not already underway, is that an entire feature-length movie will be created by one person. They might have an excellent idea for a script, be proficient in certain areas, but have the AI fill out absolutely everything, and maybe even have it help out a bit with the script, because AI is very well suited for pointing out things that you might miss, such as plot holes, and keeping track of internal consistency of both the world and the lore. I think a genuinely great movie of that type will be released in the next 2 years and have a decent amount of impact. And from that point on, people's ideas of what's acceptable with the use of AI in such endeavours is going to change quite drastically. And that stands in opposition to this final thing that I've also noticed, which is people who've previously taken great pride in their individual voice coming through in their art. You know, you go to them specifically because you love what they do compared to other people. They're now getting quite comfortable with offloading inspiration and innovation to the AI, and I really can't understand it. It's a personal choice for each person, of course, but if you really think that when you approve what the AI generates in different variations and you pick out the best one and that fills in the gap that you were previously struggling with yourself, is that really the same as what's happening when you truly exercise your imagination? Why are you selling yourself short? Is that all you have to offer now that the ability to do this is there? Why you then, when the reason that people came to you in particular previously was for your voice? It seems to me like an abdication of responsibility. Torn from nothingness into the world, it said unto thee, with all that exists from infinite possibilities, tell a new tale, one you alone can craft. And you respond, how dare you? I didn't consent to this. Have the machine do it. Yeah, perhaps you've encountered that type of person. To them, loving things is a choice, so one thing should be as good as another. We've certainly had to endure the corruption of once great works when given responsibility without heartfelt understanding, leading to great desecration. These people will try and use AI as a crutch to shore up their deficits. And you might be thinking, well then AI is just going to make everything worse. But I disagree. No, I think it's going to make the distinction far more clear than ever. Because those who can wield their imagination through to finally crafting original works, they can now use the AI to make things entirely on their own with a single directorial vision. And it can happen in the ways that I talked about previously, or in the manner which I do it for the music, which is that it has to all come from me, but I'll remain open in the future for accompanying media such as music videos, and certainly be open to using AI for that kind of thing.